Hi, it's me. From mummies in the Arctic to an ancient Roman secret, here are the top 10 most shocking archaeological discoveries ever. Number 10, the mummies of the Siberian Arctic. Back in 1997, some construction workers were busy doing their jobs in northern Russia when they stumbled upon a frozen human body. It was found with a spear sticking out of his chest. But this wasn't your run-of-the-mill murder mystery. The discovery soon turned into one of the biggest mysteries of the 20th century. Not only was the man perfectly preserved thanks to the freezing cold temperatures, but there was also another person nearby who appeared to have been murdered. Their bodies were covered in animal skins, and they had clearly traveled a great distance before they died. According to the Iceman Museum, Olenia was a reindeer herder who lived about 3,300 years ago. He was about 40 years old when he met his demise, likely from a strike to the head and a stab wound to the chest. His friend Topper was about 25 years old when he was speared in the back. The two men could be seen wearing fur clothing made from bear, deer, fox, squirrel, and ram, along with leather boots and gloves. Archaeologists were surprised to find that these two men were actually Caucasian, not Inuit, despite being discovered so far north. While they still don't know exactly what happened to them, researchers believe that they may have been victims of tribal conflict, war, or even revenge killings. Number 9. The Voynich manuscript. In 1912, a rare book dealer named Wilfrid Voynich purchased a mysterious text written in an unknown language and filled with illustrations of strange plants and diagrams of peculiar devices. The book was named the Voynich manuscript after him. Since then, scholars have been scratching their heads over what it means. The manuscript is approximately 240 pages long, written entirely in a ciphered script and illustrated with pictures of plants, animals, and astrological signs. What makes it so special? Well, we don't know if it's even real. There are people who believe it's a hoax, but others think it could be an early modern scientific text. This is because the diagrams in the book seem to describe devices that are similar to modern-day technology such as telescopes, microscopes, and even submarines. Others say it's a kind of herbal, but nobody can agree on anything when it comes to this book. And that's why it's one of the most shocking discoveries in history. If it really is a depiction of future technology, how did they do it? Did someone travel to the future and write the book? Or is it an alien manuscript? No. 8. Gold in the king's tomb. In 2015, archaeologists in China made a massive discovery inside the tomb of King Jin. They uncovered 3 whole rooms worth of gold artifacts that had never been seen before. Archaeologists were already excited when they opened up the tomb because it was one of only 3 from the Shang dynasty era that hadn't yet been looted. Unfortunately, somebody had beaten them to the punch and stolen all the treasures except for the stuff made of gold. The reason they left the gold behind is because it was in the shape of ritual vessels, and they would have needed special tools to melt it down. So the thieves didn't bother with it. You can probably imagine how much gold must have been left behind in the tomb. It took experts over 10 years to clean and restore all the artifacts, and many of them were in such good condition that they were still wearable. Number 7. The Saqqara Necropolis. In Egypt, the huge necropolis at Saqqara served as a burial ground for 25 pharaohs between 2680 and 2055 BC. In 2018, a joint team of Egyptian and Canadian archaeologists began excavating the area, and they've been making incredible discoveries ever since. The latest excavation campaign yielded the largest collection of Roman-era coins ever found in Egypt. They also uncovered several statues of Anubis, the jackal-headed god of the dead. Archaeologist Kathleen Martinez said in a statement that the discovery of the tombs shows the evolution of funerary customs over the centuries. She added that the area was used as a cemetery for 700 years, during which time the practices changed drastically. Researchers also found tombs built for priests, senior officials, and scribes, as well as a number of shabtis, which were small statues meant to work as servants in the afterlife. Number 6. Otzi the Iceman. On September 19, 1991, Two German tourists were hiking in the Italian Alps when they spotted something shocking. What they thought was a dead body turned out to be an actual mummy who had been frozen in ice for over 5,000 years. Otzi the Iceman was a Copper Age man who had been shot in the shoulder with an arrow. His body was preserved so well in the ice that it was possible for scientists to determine the cause of death, which was a hemorrhage caused by the wound on his shoulder. They were also able to determine his height, build, and even hair color. Otzi was only 16 years old when he was killed, and he had reddish-brown hair, a short neck, and was slightly shorter than the average Copper Age man. Scientists learned all sorts of things about the Copper Age by studying Otzi's remains, including the fact that he suffered from a number of health problems. These included iron deficiency, stomach parasites, and severe dental cavities. He also had healed bone fractures on his right foot and left thigh. Number 5. Secrets of the Ancient City. A group of archaeologists in Jordan recently unearthed a series of underground tunnels that were carved by ancient residents of the city of Petra. The tunnels date back almost 2,000 years and were likely used by merchants to transport goods. They were first discovered in December of 2020 by accident when a tourist stumbled upon a loose rock. The tunnels are about 131 feet long and are located beneath the famous Al-Kasneh Treasury Building. Experts believe that the tunnels were constructed sometime between 2 BC and 106 AD, and they were part of a system designed to move valuable items through the city without having to display them above ground where they could be stolen. Of course, that doesn't mean that nothing was ever stolen. Petra was largely abandoned between 106 and 1850 AD, at which point tomb raiders broke into the tombs and stole whatever they could find. Number 4. The Lost Colony of Roanoke. In the late 16th century, England established a colony on the coast of North Carolina, but today not a single person remains. There are lots of theories about what happened to the lost colony of Roanoke. Some say they were attacked and eaten by local tribes, while others believe they simply joined the native population. There's even a theory that they were all abducted by aliens. In 2012, archaeologists uncovered the remnants of 16th century pottery that supported the latter theory. Why? Because the design on the pottery was virtually identical to that of a Mayan vase dating back to the same time period. The Mayans were obviously not living in North Carolina, which led some people to conclude that aliens must have been involved. This is only one of many mysterious discoveries at the site, which is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Number 3. The Secret Cave of the First Romans. In 2018, archaeologists in Italy made a remarkable discovery. Hidden under the floor of a church in the historic city of Rome is a network of tunnels that dates back to the days of the Roman Empire. The tunnels consist of a main gallery that splits off into several smaller passages, and they are big enough for a grown man to crawl through. It's believed that the cave may have been used as a shelter by early Christians fleeing persecution by the Roman authorities. Another theory is that it was used as a sewer system or perhaps as a place to store food and other supplies. But according to archaeologist Claudio Rendina, the tunnels were most likely used as part of the city's ancient water supply system. Number 2. The Dead Sea Scrolls. In 1947, a young man named Muhammad, who was tending goats in the hills near Khirbet Qumran, threw a stone at a nearby jar and accidentally broke it. When he looked inside, he saw that the jar contained a number of ancient papyrus scrolls. This was only the beginning of one of the most important archaeological finds of all time. Over the next few months, thousands of scrolls were discovered inside caves in the area, many of which dated back to the time of Jesus Christ. Some of the scrolls contained parts of all 24 books of the Old Testament, making them the oldest copies of the Bible in existence. The Dead Sea Scrolls gave us insight into the development of the Scriptures and helped shed light on the historical context of the Bible. They also provided valuable information about life in ancient Judea. Number 1. Pompeii. Between 79 and 80 AD, the city of Pompeii was buried in ash after Mount Vesuvius erupted. The event claimed the lives of thousands of people, many of whom were trapped and killed inside their own homes. For hundreds of years, the city remained undiscovered until it was accidentally found in 1748. Excavations began immediately and continue to this day. Archaeologists have uncovered all sorts of amazing things at the site, including the skeletons of two lovers who were killed while embracing each other. It's estimated that around 2 million people visit Pompeii every year to see the ruins for themselves. And it's easy to see why it's such a popular destination. The frescoes, mosaics, buildings, and even the skeletons offer an intimate glimpse into life during the time of ancient Rome. Thanks for watching. What are your thoughts on these discoveries? Let me know in the comments below and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already. See you next time. Bye.